Hey guys, welcome to the 7-Figure Box Show. My name is Andrew Frezza, and today we're going to be talking about how we onboard new members at CrossFit Palm Beach to retain them for years. And I wanted to talk about this because as we've learned here, the most important part, or one of the most important parts of any new member's journey is those first 30 to 60 days and how we onboard those people, whether that's how we do our fundamentals program or how we do individual touch points as they start with us, is going to have a dramatic effect on whether that person stays for just the month that they signed up for or whether they're going to be with us for several months and hopefully years to come. Okay, so I want to talk about our approach, how it's evolved over the years. And it makes me think back to when I first went to Ben Bergeron's Business of Excellence seminar back in 2013, 2014 timeframe. And I remember Ben talking about his fundamentals process at the time that they had moved on to doing some personal training sessions. And he said that they had literally tried everything in the book in their history of running CrossFit New England. So they had done, week-long group fundamentals. They had done 2-week-long, month-long group fundamentals. They had done PT sessions where someone had to do a lot of sessions to get into classes, PT sessions where they're just doing a few. They had done times where people could go straight into classes. And his message with that was that all of those things worked for their business at the given time that they were trying those things. And I really like that message because that's exactly what we found as well, is that the fundamentals process and how you onboard new members should be a part of this holistic system. So how you guys are approaching this holistic system, if you're a personal training focused gym or you're trying to get members to do more PT, then really you should have PT at the upfront part of your initial sale. If you're primarily going to be making money off the group classes, then PT up front isn't nearly as important. So I think it's really important that we look at that fundamentals as, number one, just one aspect of the entire onboarding process, but number two, it has to fit the entire system. For us, we had the same experience as Ben. We've done pretty much all of those variations. When we started, we were doing a week-long fundamentals. I think it was 3 or 4 sessions in the first week. It had to be done at a specific time. I think it was 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and they had to get at least 2 of those 3 sessions done, or at least 3 of those sessions done. I'm not even sure what it was, but I know it was a week long. Then we moved on to doing PT from there. And throughout there, we played around with various things like the New You Challenge, which basically was a group month-long or 6-week-long fundamentals. And we did Mad Lab as well, where we were doing 10 sessions at a minimum to get into the group classes. And now what we've settled on today works really well for our business, and I'm really happy with where it's at for our business, but it might not have been right 7 years ago when we first started. So I want to kind of share the how and the why of how we do things today, but also talk about the individual touch points that we've added to it, because again, it's so much more than just the training side of how we're onboarding people. It's the community side and getting that person ingrained in our culture. That really is the goal of a great onboarding system. So what I love about our current situation is that I feel it's really best for the incoming member, that new person that wants to join, the veteran member that's been with us for years, the coaches that we have on staff that are trying to become full-time or career coaches, as well as the gym business and where we want to go long-term. And the way we have it structured now is that anybody that wants to start with us, for the most part, they're going to start with personal training first, okay? There are exceptions where people who want to go straight into Beach Fit can go straight into Beach Fit and just go right into a group class membership. We're okay with that. But at the point of sale, when we're running No Sweat Intros, we're encouraging almost every single person to start with some kind of personal training first. And we've bundled those personal training sessions into what we call the 40 Days to Fit package. Okay, so we have a CrossFit version that includes 5 personal training sessions, and we have a Beach Fit version that includes 3 personal training sessions. And we like for all those people to start with those personal training sessions before they get into group classes, so we can go over the fundamentals with them, but also get to know them on an individual basis and break through any concerns that they have. That's really what those sessions are about, is figuring out what concerns does this person have, what are things that they're unsure about as it relates to the group classes, what are they unsure of as it relates to different exercises and modifications that they might have to make, and getting them comfortable with those different things. As it relates to the veteran member, what I love about the PT First system is that it protects their experience a little bit as well. I think there's a really big difference between someone who's on their very, very first day and someone who's on their fourth or fifth day and has gone through a few PT sessions. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think it is a huge difference just in terms of lingo, how the class is going to function, knowing some of the movements already. And then what we like to do too is we like to have our coaches do that first class with them if they've gone through our 40 Days to Fit package or system. So that's another thing that really adds to their level of comfort in those classes and doesn't take away from that veteran member's experience. Because we've heard a lot of gyms that run Groupons, or we've even seen it at our own gym, is when people, maybe it's a drop-in out of town that's inexperienced, they can suck a lot of the coach's time up, and that takes away from the veteran member's experience. In addition to the personal training sessions, that person's gonna get 40 days of group classes. So if they're signing up for CrossFit, they get access to CrossFit and Beach Fit. If they're signing up for Beach Fit, they get access to just the Beach Fit classes. Okay, and they can mix in the Beach Fit classes during their PT sessions, but if they're doing the CrossFit version, they have to finish their PT sessions before doing their first CrossFit class. So the coach basically has to sign off on them. In addition to that, we give them 2 in-bodies. They get an in-body on day 1 and they get an in-body on day 40. That's our body fat testing. And then we also give each person a blue folder that has a bunch of information. It talks about like our coaching staff, our vision and mission for the gym. It has some nutrition guides in there and a nutrition accountability tracker. So there's a nutrition component as well to this 40-day challenge. And basically it's just them and the coach decide on 2 or 3 habits that they're gonna continue for the 40 days, and they have a chart that they can check off every day if they've done it or not. Another thing that we incorporate into those 40 Days to Fit sessions is our movement assessments. So we incorporate the active life movement assessments. We sprinkle them throughout each day of the personal training sessions. So they're getting a very, very well-rounded package to start. They're getting some personal training, they're getting some nutritional guidance, they're getting some group classes, they're getting their before and after body fat testing, and they're getting some movement assessments and potentially a plan for modifying and scaling or doing some stuff before and after class to work around those injuries. So those packages are really what we consider kind of like a taste test of everything that we have to offer at CFPB. And it's a high level package, but it's not really at a high level price. And I want to talk about our approach to this because I think a lot of gyms are different in this regard. I don't necessarily think there's a right or a wrong, but I want to talk about why we approach it this way. So for us, we look at that front end package is we want to set up the member for success first and foremost. So we don't want to withhold stuff from that 40-day package because we're saving it for later. So we're trying to give them, like I mentioned, all those different aspects of nutrition and injury prevention and exercise and one-on-one, so that way they feel really good going into those classes. And then with the coaches, we try to pay those coaches a significant amount of money for those packages, so that way they're excited to run those sessions and they're paid well to do those sessions. So we charge for our CrossFit version, we charge $399. For our Beach Fit version, we charge $249. More than 75% of that upfront cost is going to the coach, okay? So $300 of our $400 package goes to the coach in our CrossFit 40 Days to Fit package. And we want our coaches to be excited about that, and we don't want the front end offer to be a bottleneck into our group classes. We have over 500 members. We are primarily a group class facility. So we don't want to create a bottleneck at the front end where either we don't have the staff to run personal trainings, or we have the staff, but they could get paid better doing something else in the business, and they no longer really are wanting or excited to, or they're just not incentivized to run those fundamental sessions, even if they enjoy them. So we look at it this way, is that as a business, our goal is to break even on the front end, okay? This is something that you'll hear, I originally heard this from Jay Abraham, who's an expert marketer, who's awesome. If you guys want to check out his stuff, you'll also hear that a lot on Shark Tank as well. Mr. Wonderful's famous for this. Is like, what is your cost of customer acquisition, right? How long can you expect that person to be a customer? And what is sort of the lifetime value of that customer? And if your customer has a high lifetime value, which hopefully in our business they do, if we have a big revolving door, then something's wrong. all right? But you got to think about what is that lifetime value and what am I willing to give up or even break even on in the front end in order to be able to keep this person here for a while, have them have an incredible experience, introduce them to our business, and then on the back end, I know I'll be able to make profit off of them because I know how long we can expect to keep this person. And as I mentioned, the number one goal of these fundamentals type programs, in my opinion, is to get that person ingrained into your culture and your community so that person does stick around for years, because usually that's going to be the holdup from keeping them from sticking with you or not. It's not usually just the workouts or just the technique of it. So the technical fundamentals is just a small part of what we're trying to accomplish. So when we look at our numbers, we know that over 50% of our members that sign up, new members that sign up, are going to stay with us for at least 6 months. We know that over 33% of our members are going to last for 18 months, okay? So 1 out of every 3 people that we can get to sign up and go through this process is going to stay with us for at least a year and a half. So that's an incredible number. So we can afford to break even on a couple people and have them quit and not make a quick buck off them. But for the people that are going to be around with us for years, that's really what we're trying to accomplish, because those are the people that, again, everybody wins on. The client, because they're with us for 18 months, is hopefully going to see incredible results. The coach is making their money on the front end and then has a great relationship with those clients for, the short and medium term in that person being a part of our business. The gym is going to benefit because we lost or broke even on some money in the first 1 to 2 months, but our goal was to keep them for 18 months anyways, right? Like, we don't want to be in a system where we're making money in the first couple months. I mean, that's not that that's a bad thing, but the goal is to keep people for a while, right? The only way to give people true lasting results is to keep them for a while. So why not create a system where you're willing to lose a little bit on the front end, but that incentivizes all parties to keep them there for 18 months. And I know for a while that this PT first side has been all the rage, and we still, like I said, do it at CrossFit Palm Beach. I don't think it's the only way. When we had our highest level growth at CrossFit Palm Beach, and specifically with our Beach Fit program, a lot of people were bypassing the PT first and they were going straight into Beach Fit classes. And it was great for that period of time for us because we wouldn't have had the staff to handle all those people. And it would have just slowed down our ability to add new people. So at varying times of your business, especially if you have a group class model, you may or may not want to do PT first. I know a lot of the mentors out there like Chris Thorndike and Stu Brower are starting to promote the value of a group first or a group only type facility because they see places like an Orange Theory or a Soul Cycle out there that's how they function. And if those people can be successful, then there's a couple different ways to kind of skin the cat in that sense. So I don't want you guys to think that one way's right or not, but just the reason that we approach it this way is because we want that person to feel really comfortable in our culture and our community. So if you have the staff to run something like a PT first, and you're actually going to benefit from the influx of personal training sessions because it's going to allow more of your coaches to make a career out of this and it's going to provide more opportunities to them, then it's a great system. For us, we've hired a few coaches over recent years, and it can be tough for them to build a book of business as it relates to the personal training and the personal programming side. So by having the fundamentals one-on-one stuff, it gives them the chance to sharpen their skills in a one-on-one environment. It gives them the chance to over-deliver in a one-on-one environment and hopefully create more personal training sessions for themselves. But it also gives them a chance to have some personal training revenue until they get to the point where they have great relationships with everybody in the gym. In addition to the touch points that I've mentioned, I want to talk about a few more touch points that we've built in because, again, the technical side is just one component of it. How you structure the well-rounded fundamentals is one component of it. And any other touch points that you can add in can really make or break that relationship in the early days to keep that person there for months or years. So one of the first things that we do, and we started doing this more recently than we have in the past, is the no sweat intro. We try to have every person do a no sweat intro prior to doing a group class. If that person tries a Beach Fit class and they kind of bypass that no sweat intro, we still try to do the no sweat intro on the back end after the fact So they're still having a one-on-one goals conversation after the fact. And sometimes people will sign up for a BeachFit membership, and then after doing that no sweat intro sort of after the fact, they change their mind and they switch to our BeachFit 40 Days to Fit challenge. So that's a very common situation. We also do a 7 to 10 day checkup call that our front desk manager does, where she gets to know the person a little bit better. It's also kind of a checks and balance system on our 40 Days to Fit to see if the coach is doing their job well, and we'll typically hear from the members of where their coach is doing well and where they could do better with. We also use that call to make sure that person is up to speed on some of the things, the nuances that we have in our particular business. Things like our Committed Club and making sure they know what that is. SugarWatt app for tracking their scores and being part of the community. The Zen Planner app for reserving their classes. How to use their first InBody, because we give everybody a free InBody scan. All those things are addressed in that first call, so this person automatically sees the value of what they've signed up for within the first 1 to 2 weeks of them signing up. In addition to that, we send everybody, we mail this out, everybody gets a handwritten welcome or thank you for signing up. And then in that package, we send a bunch of different things in there. So they get our first bracelet, it's our Just Show Up bracelet. And that Just Show Up bracelet is the first bracelet in a series of bracelets. I've talked about this in other podcasts. And they're gonna get more bracelets when they hit 100 classes, 300 classes, 500 classes, 750 classes, and then 1,000 classes. And there's a postcard in there that talks about the core value of just showing up and how that relates to what we stand for at CFPB. Okay, so they get that, they get the handwritten thank you. They also get a buy one, get one t-shirt, so they can start repping the brand and start to feel like it's more than just a place for them to work out. They get our referral credit card that they can start to think about bringing in a friend. So all these things are sent out to them. So that way, again, this person is immediately signing up, and within the first 7 to 10 days, they're seeing all the value that they're getting in return. We've also recently built out a Zen Planner welcome email series. Okay, so we currently have 30 days built out. Our goal is to get to 90 days and even beyond that, where this person's going to get an email every 2 to 3 days to talk about a wide range of topics. So we hit on in more detail some of the things I mentioned earlier that are touched on the call, like SugarWatt or Committed Club. We also talk about like how to choose weights in workouts or some of the lingo in workouts. We talk about nutrition topics. We try to build out of like, what is this person going to be thinking about at this time in their stage of the journey? So, day 5, they're getting an email about like how to deal with soreness in the gym, right? That's a common thing of like, how do I differentiate between soreness where I should continue to show up to the gym versus soreness where I shouldn't come to the gym? Or a lot of our members ask, how many days should I be coming per week to the gym? So we have a separate email on that where we break that down. So that's been very useful, and we can check the open rates in Zen Planner to see who's opening this, who's getting value from that email series. On the back end side, we use Slack for our team communication, and we'll have either the coach that runs the 40 Days to Fit package or the front desk person that signed that person up post about that new member with a picture of them in Slack, so all the new coaches can be aware of that person and know a little bit about that person. Okay, so the process of that is if someone signed up for a straight BeachFit class membership and doesn't do the 40 Days to Fit, then our front desk is going to post about them. If they do sign up for the 40 Days to Fit, then the coach is going to post about that person after their last session. So they're going to say, hey, keep an eye out for so-and-so in classes. I just finished up their personal training sessions with them. They work at the local bank. They have these limitations. They like long walks on the beach. Whatever it is, they're going to give you a few fun facts about that person with a picture. So that way all the coaching staff can keep an eye out for that person in classes. And then in addition to that, if they are doing 40 Days to Fit, that coach will do their first group class with that person. Okay, so if it's CrossFit, after their first 5 sessions, they're going to do their 6th session in class with that person. So number 1, that person feels super comfortable in classes. And then number 2, again, he or she's not going to be taking away from the veteran members experience by asking a ton of questions to the coach. So that's our 40 Days to Fit process, our fundamentals on-ramp process. And I would encourage you guys to look for more of these touch points that you can add and think about making this a more well-rounded experience while also not being afraid to lose a little bit of money or break even on the front end in order to keep that person and give them the best possible experience long term.